Section 19 of the POSH Act provides for employers' obligations. We have gone through them, but a very important obligation which is cast upon the employer under the Act, we will just go through the obligations and we will understand that, okay, sensitization is also one of them. Okay. Number 1, provide a safe working environment at the workplace, which shall include safety from persons coming in contact with the workplace. Okay. So there is a duty upon the employer that, okay, you need to provide a safe working environment. So for that, the employer would need to take certain steps to do that. Okay. Then display at conspicuous places in the workplace penal consequences of sexual harassment, the order constituting the ICC under subsection 4. Okay. So when you are having a training program related to the POSH Act, when you're trying to sensitize your employees towards the issue of POSH, what do? You put out posters. The Act says that, okay, this is an obligation. The employer needs to come up. There are places in the office where he needs to put out that, okay, if acts of sexual harassment are taking place, these are the penal consequences that you might face. Further, you also need to provide that, okay, this is the order we have passed. Seema, Anjali, Kavita, and Mr. Reddy are members of the ICC. These are their email IDs. These are their contact numbers. If you're facing anything, you contact them. So what are you doing? You're trying to sensitize your employees. You're trying to make them aware about what are the remedies that are there, which are available to them. Okay. Then you need to organize workshops and awareness programs at regular intervals for sensitizing the employees with the provisions of the Act and orientation programs for the members of ICC. Correct. So the obligation that is cast upon the employer is not only for the employees of the organization. It says that, okay, you need to provide orientation programs to ICC members also. If Nidhi is coming to Navpreet and she's saying that, Navpreet, you are the member of the ICC, I am facing so and so things. What is the training that needs to be imparted to Navpreet? This is how you handle a complainant. These are the kind of questions that you ask. You make them comfortable first. You try and get the background of the situation. You try and connect the dots. If this is a very vague situation, if she is not wanting to come forward, you tell her that, okay, Nidhi, Navpreet will tell Nidhi that, Nidhi, if you actually want to come forward, you have to file a written complaint. We cannot, unfortunately, accept an oral complaint. And you have to come out, you have to put out your name, because anonymous complaints are also not there. So these kind of trainings would have to be given to Navpreet as an ICC member, so that she is able to handle me as a complainant properly. Correct. So two things, two ways, employer for employees as well and for IC members as well. Okay. So this is all a statutory obligation. The word is statutory obligation cast upon the employer by section 19. Okay. You guys can remember this. Further, provide necessary facilities to the internal committee or the local committee, as the case may be, for dealing with the complainant and conducting an inquiry. Okay. So again, an obligation is cast that what does the employer need to do wherever the ICC is sitting? If they are physically sitting in a place, if they are virtually present, you need to make sure that you are giving them the platform, you are giving them the physical room, that, okay, this is how the complainant will come to you. These are the timelines that are there for you. And this is the process in which you need to deal with the complainant. So again, there is a duty cast upon the employer. Further, if, let's say, I go to Navpreet and I say, okay, Mr. Rakesh has done so and so act in the organization and there is a verbal abuse that has happened, and Navpreet is handling my complaint and Rakesh fails to appear. What is the duty of Navpreet here? She needs to assist in securing the attendance of the respondent. Who is the respondent? Rakesh here. And witnesses. There might be witnesses who are like, starting me, they've said that, okay, this is the statement that we are giving. And then they turn back and they say, oh, we don't want to come before the ICC. So ICC has the powers of a civil court. Like a civil court is, ICC to certain extent has the power that it can seek attendance of Rakesh. Navpreet can secure the attendance of Rakesh. Navpreet can send out that notice that, okay, if you do not appear, these are the consequences. So this knowledge, this impartation of knowledge as well needs to be given to Navpreet. So all this is a part of sensitization and training. Okay. Make available such information to the internal committee or the local committee, as the case may be, as it may require, having regard to the complainant made under subsection 1 of 9. So whatever is the complaint made, you need to make sure that employer, if certain records, if certain records are being sought from the employer, they are being sought from the employer, that you give us this information, you give us certain record. So employer should help them, okay, that I am here and I will be providing you with all the necessary information that is there. Lastly, you need to provide assistance to the woman if she chooses to file a complaint in relation to an IPC offense. Like already discussed on many occasions in this batch, that this is a disciplinary proceeding. What will be the consequence? You will either have termination of the employee, the promotion would be withheld, salary benefits would be stopped, all of that. However, there would be another parallel proceeding that you may have, which is a criminal proceeding. And for that, if a woman wishes, she can, the employer should ideally help her to file a complaint. So again, this is cast as an employer obligation. Last 3 employer obligations, again, that if there is a complaint, then you should help her initiate action under the Indian Penal Code. So help her pursue the criminal remedy that is there. Very important, treat sexual harassment as a misconduct under the service rules. This is for organizations which are government or university related. Private, as we have already discussed, you will have anti-sexual harassment policy and your internal code. And lastly, monitor the timely submissions of reports. So these are like annual reports that you submit every year to show that, okay, what is the number of cases that you have had in the organization? What is the number of cases disposed of? All of this is a statutory obligation cast upon the employer. Through these, what do we understand? That, okay, employer has a duty to sensitize and train the employees. Employer has a duty, so many other duties, right?